In 3, 2, slow countdown, 1. Hey, everybody. We are back again, episode 4 of the Fireside with Merlin.
And Mike.
And we are discussing bears and beasts and something or other. Sounds like I know where this is from. Tell me more. Why are we naming it this?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, don't tease me. You know exactly what it's about. It's beyond bears and other beasts, of course, because if we steal a title from someone, we steal from the best on the panel. At least I liked it very much how Claudio played that card there. I can't pull that off so casual yet on stage, but I find it a rather good statement there, and I think it's also something important we have to go into. I mean, yeah, it's and no one wants to talk so much about bear markets, but how do we call this current state of markets? You tell me.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously been difficult for everyone, and I think one of the key things we can focus on is PlanetWatch and what are they doing to move through the bear market until things change. So what tools, what efforts are being made by PlanetWatch to get through to the next stage?
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, I don't want to also only pride our project. I believe it's in general in you have to view in the crypto markets or the crypto project markets. You have to see that bear market is always a chance to build and to focus on core values and fix issues. And there are a few to fix. I mean, to a certain degree, I also find it fair to say that you see a lot of effort going on PlanetWatch to use the bear market to recover things. I mean, the governance vote, the hodler system, the loyalty system, those are all things that are already evidence of the building. Some others will only play out in the next weeks and months because there is more in the making. But obviously, those are the big things we did. All the while, of course, the loyalty system was mainly also a thing to transition from the prior situation of the waitlist, which didn't work out. We outsourced the logistics there, and basically with the TEA shop, we're making the example that it works. And this is a core part of one thing that started to change. I mean, like in a time where there are not so many sensor purchases and things are not going all rosy, it was also a good time to focus on those things and to rebuild it from the core. And so no waiting list anymore, open sales, here we are. You have also the whole voucher system with the cohorts and everything. But there are other sides going on the back end which are not so noticeable to the user. Like there were huge server improvements over the last 6 months, basically. Our tech team did a great job and actually did a lot about the structure. I mean, it's also about cost management. It's they improved things to a certain degree to make them more efficient. To of course to also make the network more stable, but also to drive down the cost of this thing. So upscaling is in future possible because like you have to always now think with the new systems, with the new token model, everything that we're very focused on what happens now next, how the network grows again from the state it's now in, and everything has to be handled. And there's also the things going on which was on a prior governance vote about changing the intervals. This has been a little bit delayed to give more focus first on the token model and the hodler program and some other things that are going on about API. But now this will also be improved to further build the network structure. And there are many small things like this going on the back end, some of which we can maybe also touch on a next episode. But in general, like we also have to little bit keep the pace of information. There's a lot to digest now. There is, of course, a big moment where we now want to see how the launch goes on 1st February. But in general, things are changed a lot. I also want to take their fair point on while it might have not looked as smooth for the most people with testing the turtle. Um, the thing is that the first 50 test group of community members actually gave us a lot of results and factored in very much into the hardware for the final commercial release. So there were a lot of changes. And now you also see that the whole thing with charger or not charger, you get often reported that people, even in cloudy places, have no problem running the commercial turtle, which went into sales without a charger because solar is very efficient. There were like the test group really helped with this. And this is how we also now go basically about everything. This is why also a lot of work went into the hodler program. And we're going on the one side, it's now after this big implementation, main focus is on fixing issues, streamlining things, ironing out all the things. This is one side of it. The other further improvement goes more, of course, to increasing the business side of things, also in preparation of the API data sales. Um, this takes a lot of time and work from many people, and there is a lot in the making. I believe it will be exciting, especially now after the biggest proposal is out of the way. The small things that now come up will be quite interesting in tweaking and improving this whole thing.
Okay. Kind of along the same vein, I see questions regularly about, it's a bear market. If here's my solution to solve that. And one of the most common solutions is, hey, why don't you just list on big exchanges and that'll solve everything. So what are the hurdles? Why don't you join a big exchange? What's holding us back? Why not do it?
I mean, there are two sides to this. One is a very general thing about how it is not as easy as it looks, and the other is also related to the events of the last month. Basically, the thing is that in general, you have to say picking an exchange is one thing. It's not like simply listing on there. Yeah, there are negotiations going into this, and you also have to put up things for liquidity. And what matters here is mostly that they will ask you to put a certain liquidity in. That, of course, like whatever token you're doing, if you're doing planets to USDT, for example, then to a certain, depending on which exchange it is, you have to usually always bring in the planets, and sometimes you have to bring all of the USDT or some. But this depends all on negotiations, also factoring in the most important thing, the management fees. Like there's a monthly upkeep on exchanges which is not for free, and this highly depends on how your token is performing on trading volume, because an exchange will to a certain degree get fees for every transaction that is made. So if you're having a high trading volume on your token, you can probably negotiate a smaller management fee. So as we saw, like before, when things went down with the bear market, obviously the trading volumes were low, and it was a bad moment to go into an exchange with that, because like the negotiation happens when you go in. It's not so easy to renegotiate it once it changes. So you obviously want a good standing going into exchange, also to keep the talk smooth and to agree on a reasonable management fee. This is one side of things. So maybe the timing wasn't the best before. And now we also have to be fair here. Like everyone dreams of Binance and CDC and whatever top tier exchange. Not everyone, maybe depending on the country, but many do. But the thing is, it's sort of a climb. You're going from smaller exchanges to bigger ones. we are also like in the spot where it becomes kind of meaningless to go to an exchange that is like on the list somewhere 200, 300 in place. You want to aim always a little bit upgraded. But then again, like the thing is, we're not yet at the spot where we maybe instantly can go to a top 5 exchange. That's not yet the state of things. And under that, it was a little bit problematic in the last months. If we all, I mean, we can name FTX, it's no problem. The reality is that it's, I mean, when you go somewhere with your liquidity, you also want certain safety to this and want to have it be a good decision. I mean, like, if we're perfectly honest here, like a few months before the FTX thing happened, PlanetWatch was not aiming to go there by no means, but like I would have probably personally said, like, if someone had said, why not list there? It looks like a good chance. They had a huge impact on the market. And look how that had played after it. Like everyone who did that decision back then now is not so feeling so smart about it anymore. So I don't want to make the decision which is a risky or not a risky exchange, but currently all things have to be taken with caution. They have to be prepared. We have to also wait for better trading volume to find a good negotiation point and kind of get a good deal and to get a good exchange. There goes something into this. For this, we have our management and business team and all them. They are working on such things at the right time. So it's not that easy always. Yeah. But I mean, I see that question also often enough because it's like the go-to thing people throw at you. It's almost like some people also ask, like, why don't you sell sensors for planets? I mean, it's what do you think? Why don't we sell sensors for planets anymore?
Well, I mean, I'm just a layman, just a participant in the project, but I do a lot of blockchain parsing, obviously, and I see a lot of the movements and results. And in my eyes, if you were to force people to pay in planets and you're a manufacturer or retailer, the biggest challenge is, honestly, you have bills to pay. You have things that you need to do with that money. You've got sourcing materials, you've got employees, you've got marketing, everything else. Those people that you want to pay, probably not going to take planets. Would love them to, probably help out a lot, but they're not going to. So what are you going to do? You're probably just going to take the planets, you're going to flip them around back into fiat almost immediately. And while that may increase a little bit of volume, it's kind of just a net zero gain for the project. It's just moving stuff in and then moving it out almost immediately. That's just my layperson kind of view on it. I mean, is there a different perspective I should be looking at it from?
I mean, for the most part, you actually hit exactly the sweet spot there. I mean, like, currently the situation is even that like you can pay them in fiat and you could pay them in planets. But enforcing that is not really a way to go. I mean, obviously for the reason like you said, manufacturers need real money to produce things, you know? And if they just end up taking planet and instantly flipping them, okay, you're getting a little bit of trading volume, but it's all artificial. I mean, we're talking about real world value here. A manufacturer with all its product line and resourcing and whatever it is that goes into that, it works upon money. That's the reality. And in an initial growth phase of PlanetWatch, it made kind of sense to make this system so it gets a boost at the start. But if you're looking at the longevity of things, like I mean, I am already really, really happy that TEA is, as a partner, totally accepted to doing this part with still accepting planets. You have to take one thing into account, like even if they directly use this to sell the planets off, they are helping you a little bit with trading volume whatsoever. But then again, for a manufacturer, this at a certain point becomes a not so predictable risk, because like they are not used to working with crypto. And
Right.
even if you tell them like, look, the solution we have, the planets, they stack up to a certain amount, they are then converted into fiat whatsoever, they don't understand the markets, and they don't want to. A manufacturer doesn't want to understand the ebb and flow of crypto market, and even the chance of things going down or south for a short moment. It's not the kind of risk they are doing. We're talking about margins here in production. Everything is set to meet the prices they need to charge. So this is one side to it. I mean, if we go further into this topic, I believe also you could bring up a certain customer side of things, where like PlanetWatch aims to be far more than your average crypto project. I mean, this sounds very snobbish, but the thing is, if you want to go global with things and you want to build an air quality network and also tap into the markets of government institutions or more people with a more environmental focus, you have to kind of see that also giving the chance to decide between planets and fiat also is a matter of accessibility. I mean, the sensors are not cheap, you know?
Yeah.
And some people, they have their one credit card they trust into, also because of customer protection. Like similar like with PayPal things, like everyone has and it's very different in different countries. Like I often hear like where I'm from in Germany, like people, for example, often prefer PayPal over credit card at this moment in time, while other people in other countries have a certain thing with like their Visa, their MasterCard, whatsoever. Then you have to take in that some people have maybe on certain credit cards, they have like their cashback systems or whatever. Like people have a certain route they prefer for purchasing,
Yeah.
and for some it's even crypto, no problem, especially for planet watchers. And we saw it when the turtles sold. There were quite some sales in planets. um so you have to be open, to things. And especially as there will be going on more in placement also for projects. Like there are a lot of things going on the backside. And if you're opening to, it's not even B2B, but if you're like opening to local municipalities, to schools, to whatever, if you're doing deals with them, like it also factors later into the data sales. It's the same, sensor sales or data sales. You want to be open to the general market, and for this, you also have to bring fiat to the table.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's great when somebody like Taya accepts both, but I think it's better when you have the option. And
Yeah.
as someone again who parses a lot of stuff, I've seen that people have still paid with planets in various situations that they had a choice. So I think it's great to have the option one way or another, and forcing one way for perceived small gain and a short-term gain on the project probably is a good call for PlanetWatch. Another good call for PlanetWatch, just announced recently, funding.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously this was a very, very nice announcement. It has been actually in preparation for some time. We just only released everything, not only when the ink was dry, but also when it was agreed upon all parties for this to be announced and released. Um, and this funding round means a lot because it's like support from the big players, like Algorand, Borderless, you name it. Like we everyone knows those, but there are also banks involved. There's also TradFi involved, traditional finance, and I mean. It's a nice note maybe to close this bear market discussion on. It's like basically in this current economical situation, one not only for crypto but more globally, it's kind of impressive that a project like PlanetWatch, I mean, it's not so problematic for them to pull funding. And maybe on the next episode, we can look what other things are on the horizon, or discuss this a little bit more, what will happen with the funding. Because there are a few cool things coming. And of course, this announcement also matters for the next things that are coming on PlanetWatch.
Yeah, I think everybody would like to know, like, hey, that is great that there's funding. How's it going to help? How's it going to propel PlanetWatch forward into the future? So if we can discuss that next time or at a later time, that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I would say then we call it a day for this time, so we can soon do another episode. I hope everyone still likes the format, and if you have anything, you can always put it down in the comments. Like, of course, also on Discord, like we have on Discord the feedback channel. It's also always a good thing to also tap into there, give some feedback or things you want to hear on Fireside Chat. And of course, as usual, the YouTube comment sections, we will always look there and try whatever we can to put it into an episode where it fits on the topic. That's about it.
Yeah. And as a final note to a lot of people, if you're ever looking for updates on PlanetWatch, what are the best sources somebody can join or subscribe or follow that will give them that latest news?
I mean, like Twitter is currently the pulse of the time on where you should be subscribed to PlanetWatch, just to not miss out on the small things, because like the small things, we always try to put things on Telegram and Discord too, on our communities. But like the first source of things is Twitter. And apart from that, like usually the big things are always on the blog posts, but you will be notified on Twitter every time there is a new blog post also.
All right, great. Well, then we'll close up this episode. We will see everybody again in the next episode. And I guess that's it.
Have a nice time and see you next time, everyone.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.